1899 proves that number 1, Dark was no fluke, but 2, welcome back, Netflix fans, as the creators of Dark are back. I got the chance to watch the first 6 episodes of 1899, a show that is fated to be endlessly watched and rewatched, dissected, and the subject of countless analysis videos here on YouTube. But we will do that once the show is out. As for today, I'm just going to give you my spoiler-free first impressions on these first 6 episodes. I'm not going to grade anything. I can't talk about the entire season in context as I have not seen the entire season as of the recording of this video. So I'm just going to run through what my initial thoughts were coming into the show and how they, if at all, changed through the course of these 6 episodes. The bare bones information that you should know coming into this show if you're at all a fan of Dark or if you're just new to these creators' masterworks. As we follow the mysterious circumstances around the voyage of an immigrant ship from Europe to New York, the passengers, all of different backgrounds and nationalities, are united in their hopes and dreams for a new century and their future abroad. But when they discover a second ship adrift in the open sea that had gone missing for months, their journey takes an unexpected turn. What they find on board will turn their passage to the promised land into a nightmare-like riddle, connecting each of the passengers' pasts through a web of secrets. If you're not at all familiar with the creators of Dark or that show whatsoever, you should expect a dense, complex story that does not spoon-feed you answers, that it's all very interpretative, and it's a story that requires, in fact, demands the audience's attention. And in turn, it rewards that attention. This is another show that is not here to give you clear answers right away. It's a narrative that clearly values your investment with long-term storytelling. But what is immediately obvious as soon as this show starts is that its scope is so incredibly massive. Dark is a show that kept growing as it went along through 3 seasons, but it started very small, and as you unpeeled layers, it became bigger and bigger and bigger. This show does that as well, but it starts immediately so much bigger, and it immediately kicks off with this atmosphere of dread. There's a sense of uneasiness, of eeriness surrounding each and every one of these characters as they find themselves in this ship journeying to the supposed promised land, a turn of the century Europe. And the reason I've repeatedly mentioned Dark thus far through this video, besides being one of the greatest shows of all time, is not because they are connected whatsoever. 1899 is tackling very different themes in a very different story with a very different scope. But it clearly comes from the same meticulous minds. It requires active brain power. It requires critical thinking. It demands your attention at every frame, where they're able to instill a sense of importance and meaning from the very beginning to several pieces that are seemingly disconnected and scattered through this story. A piece of wardrobe, a name on a piece of paper, a glance someone gives to someone else, a music cue. In this show, they all feel important. They all grab your attention as soon as this show begins. And as it starts to unfold, you don't necessarily get answers, but all its symbolism becomes very clear in a sense that it's important, and it's in the sense that it's going to carry weight, and it becomes emotionally impactful for the narrative on display. And if you're enjoying this video thus far, do not forget to add to the discussion in the comments below with your impressions coming into the show or after seeing the first 6 episodes whenever you find this video. And if you want to see more videos on 1899 for me, do let me know in the comments below. We're going to discuss it spoiler free, and with spoilers we're going to interpret what the show had to give us in symbolism, in themes, with the mystery. We're going to have a lot of 1899 coverage, so I want to know what do you want to see from me. Let's keep going. So it isn't a series that feels like it's holding out secrets without giving you anything in return for your investment. Little by little, it gives you a new piece to the puzzle. And that new piece to the puzzle makes you reinterpret all the other pieces you've already gathered. And the more you pay attention to the show, the more it feels like it rewards you, where nothing really feels obvious, but it feels like you're heading in the right direction with each new piece of information. And they are able to give you little moments of gratification through the episodes, and then leaving you with something big going into the next chapter of the story. And from the first episode, the themes being explored become rather clear. And that's not a bad thing. You need something to emotionally tie all the key players together so the story has a sense of direction, and that all the passengers aboard this ship clearly are each going through their own journey of grief, where they're all running away from something. What that something is a big part of the mystery at play here, as each episode dives a little bit into each different character. We explore something new, and that is part of the layers being unpeeled as each episode unfolds, as each episode gives focus to someone new. Maybe someone who we thought we had all figured out after 2 episodes. Then comes another episode, and it gives us a new interpretation. And that's what makes this show so engaging and so compelling to watch, where with each new reveal, there's a brand new layer added to the mystery, there's a brand new layer added to the characters. Each of these people feels complex, and the more we discover about them, they never stay the same. Our interpretation of who they are, of their worldview, of their convictions and motivations never stays the same. It always keeps on changing, and so the tension, the engagement we have with these characters, and our understanding of their conflicts with the world around them and what is going on becomes different and keeps on ever changing and evolving. And so it feels rewarding to pay attention. It feels rewarding to understand what this little thing that was quickly mentioned or that was quickly seen means, and then comes back to have a big impact in how the show unfolds, in how these characters act around one another. Big part of the show really explores that sense of paranoia that is generated through the uncertainty of the situation these characters are going through. So it obviously works really well as a mystery that is so well thought out, it is so intricate, it is so detailed, with every step it takes feeling so precise and deliberate. But the cadence and pacing to it give it the feel of a thriller and a horror, and all the characters keep getting interesting, and the more and more we discover about them, the more we begin to interpret something they said or something they did before. And so their decision making is very well explored in that sense of human paranoia. What do we become through fear? What do we become through uncertainty? If we're put between a rock and a hard place, how do we react? And so the more we discover about them, the more we understand why they react a certain way, why they hold their specific worldviews, and so we become attached to more and more characters as the show unfolds. And everyone is really great, because everyone really gives you that feel of, we don't know what is going on. And so you feel immediately immersed in the story because you feel like you're right there with these characters. Emily Beecham, she is sensational here. And as the captain, we have Andreas Pichman, who played adult Jonas in Dark. And I hope I pronounced that name right, because I love this actor. I think he tells such an incredible story with just his very emotive eyes. And in general, you have a great ensemble where you have these class divisions within the ship, and you have this group of religious fanatics, and you have the high and mighty sophisticated side of society, and how those divisions in class clash against one another. The entire ensemble of very diverse actors, from a collection of different nationalities, including a Portuguese actor in this, which I personally always like to see. Just make it feel so vibrant and grounded within the real world, as it tells this very relatable story of a turn of the century Europe whose desire is to find a better life in this brand new continent, America, the supposed promised land. But it is the journey to get to the heavenly promised land that reveals itself to be quite emotionally harrowing. 1899 proves that number one, Dark was no fluke, but two, it is a hauntingly mesmerizing watch that I cannot stop thinking about and reinterpreting it, and I cannot wait to discuss in full spoiler glory. So before I dive into my final thoughts on the first 6 episodes of 1899, I need you to start a conversation in the comments below. Do you want to see more discussions about this show when it comes out, talking about the different interpretations, talking about the different episodes, anything and everything down there? How excited are you for this, and how much are you a fan of Dark? Anything and everything down there. And if you're enjoying this first impressions video, I have so many videos on the channel that you're sure to enjoy. Post-credit scenes breakdowns, spoiler reviews, spoiler-free reviews, anything and everything, it's there. And if you're enjoying this video in general, this is the place to be. So consider clicking that subscribe button and you won't miss any future conversations on your favorite movies and TV. The intricate craft on display in 1899 demands your attention at every frame, as with every new reveal comes a new interpretation on the mystery, the characters, and each piece of the puzzle assembled. While there are no clear answers as of yet, the intrigue constantly builds up, and the new layers unveiled earn our emotional and intellectual investment. That's what I make of the first 6 episodes on 1899. I cannot wait to figure this out. I cannot wait to discuss it with you. So thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in that spoiler discussion coming very soon. Big thanks to my channel members for always supporting the channel. And until the next one, love each other and love the movies.